Well, for more on this, we're joined in studio now by our science and technology editor, Julia Seeger. Julia, we heard from a family member, somebody there whose brother and his family still being held captive in Gaza. Now, since the Hamas attack and since those more than 240 people were taken hostage, tech startups in Israel, they've been mobilising to help to try to locate those people who are still being held captive in Gaza. Talk to us a little bit about that.
That's right, Sharon. You know that Israel is it's a high-tech country with a lot of startups that are specialized in cutting-edge technologies. And in the wake of the October 7th attack, many young people, but also professors and companies, did get together to build what we call civil command war rooms. There are 3 in Tel Aviv. The largest is situated in the Tel Aviv Expo Center. There you have 500 tech experts who have literally quit their job to help locate the hostages. And, they can be specialized in AI, but also data analytics, facial recognition. Let's now listen in to Karen Nahon. She's a professor at Reichman University, and she also heads this civil crisis cell.
We were able to find the status of more than hundreds of people here. In fact, we became the hub for the security forces, for the government agencies. We are today the main information hub that gives different information to different agencies in Israel. This is something that is, that I couldn't believe. If you asked me like a week and a half ago, I would say to you, it can't be. The government right now relies on the information that is coming up from these rooms, and there are 3 rooms like that.
Now, just a few kilometers from there, in another building, you have other experts in cryptology, in cybersecurity, who are also working to locate the hostages. And specifically, you have an Israeli company called Code Blue that was able to identify 70 hostages thanks to its AI software. So we've already spoken about it here on set, but the way they do it is they use all the footage that's being posted on social media networks by Hamas, and they use facial recognition. They use AI to try to identify and find details and clues. Like, for instance, you're going to see here, you see this phone number that was written on a wall that helped identify and locate one of the hostages. Now, in those war rooms, you have a lot of young people, as I said, and these are the same young people that were demonstrating, that were organizing these pro-democracy protests just a few weeks ago, and now they're working hand in hand with the police and the army. And all of these people coming from civil society are just coming together and are trying to answer several questions. Like, who are the hostages? Where were they last seen? Were they wounded? Is Hamas trying to exfiltrate them? Were they, what do we know about their current location? Now, they are working hand in hand with authorities, and they're working with a new military unit that has just been created. It was created in the wake of October 7th, and it's called the Task Force for Kidnapped and Missing People. You see them here. They're also working with another elite group of hackers this time. It's called the 8200 unit. You know about them because they actually helped create the cyber espionage software Pegasus, which was used to spy on a lot of journalists worldwide.
And are negotiators also working to try to secure the release of these hostages?
Yes, of course. Negotiators, and Israeli negotiators are amongst the best in the world. In this photo, you're going to see David Maiden. He negotiated the release of the Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit, who was captured by Hamas in 2006. Now, we don't know how much Israel wants to negotiate this time around because Hamas has high demands. But what we do know is that historically, negotiating for hostages is a deep-rooted tradition in Israel. Since the beginning of time, let's say ancient times at least, Jewish communities have been victims of abductions and ransoming. And historically, negotiations were carried out to prove the importance of belonging to the Jewish community, but also to avoid conversions to other religions. And today, it's because the army is very close to people that the IDF kind of implicitly is committed to bringing kids home. So we also know that the U.S. has sent a U.S. commando on the ground to help with those negotiations. And we also know that Qatar has also participated in the release of at least one hostage.
And do archaeologists also help to identify the people who are missing?
Well, we're trying to understand who has been, this is gruesome, but we're trying to understand who's been murdered, who's been abducted, who's missing. In some situations, Israeli investigators need and have been looking to biblical archaeologists because they need even more expertise to try to examine burnt vehicles, especially on the site of the music festival Nova, where 270 people were killed by Hamas. So they're helping forensics identify the victims, but also find blood, bone fragments, as you can see here on those pictures, and human tissue fragments. So just to sum it up, you can really see that the Israelis from all walks of life have really come together to try to contribute to the search of Israeli hostages.
Julia, thank you so much. That's our Science and Technology editor here at France 24, Julia Seeger.